The Leeds-based presenter recently announced she was pregnant with her third child, due to give birth on New Year's Eve. On tonight's installment of This Week on the Farm on Channel 5, Helen Skelton and Jules Hudson went to visit Whitney the alpaca and her newborn after a troubling birth. As Jules geared the conversation to Helen's pregnancy, she soon shut down the conversation when the Yorkshire Vet star suggested David Melleney may need to offer his help. After speaking to Rob and Dave Nicholson at Cannon Hall Farm about the birth of the cria, Jules turned to Helen and said, "Talking of young things about to happen, Miss Skelton." Looking down at her bump, she quickly brought the conversation to a halt as she replied, "If David the vet delivers this baby, something's definitely gone wrong." The joke all stemmed from Whitney the alpaca having a tough time delivering her baby, and they had to call in the help of Yorkshire vet David Melleney. Asking the farmers about the ordeal, Jules said, "How is she doing, lads?" To which Rob replied, "She's doing well now, but she's had a really rough week." Dave added, "We were so close to losing Mum and the cria, it was a tense time." Whitney the alpaca was struggling to give birth to her baby, so David was called in to help her along. It was revealed that her baby was the wrong way round, with the two back legs and tail being the first things that were to come out, making it difficult for Mum to push. With the head typically being the first out, David had to turn the baby inside Whitney to avoid any surgery. After successfully birthing the cria, it was soon noted that its front legs hadn't formed properly, so David bandaged it up for precaution. While Helen and Jules spoke to Rob and Dave, the farmers unbandaged the cria's leg, where they discovered it had healed and formed just how they wanted to. The farmers had decided to name the cria, Baby David, after it was delivered by two Davids, to which Helen replied, "No offense, I felt a little underwhelmed with just David, but Baby David makes sense." Later in the show, more intense danger occurred as one of Cannon Hall Farm's favorite horse Lottie was also in trouble. Lottie is one of Rob and Dave's favorites on the farm, and despite her ongoing health issues, the men do what they can to keep her going. She needed her feet trimmed, but because she suffers from a lack of strength in her legs, it meant that she couldn't stand on 3 feet and needed to be put to sleep for the procedure. This caused anxiety for the two men as it could potentially be fatal for Lottie and her health issues, so it was time for the help of Yorkshire Vet's Matt Smith. Due to her size and strength, the first round of anesthetic didn't put her to sleep, so Matt came back a week later with a stronger dose. After an anxious wait, Lottie finally succumbed to the drugs and eventually went down, allowing Matt to perform the procedure and clean her feet. Helen and Jules visited Lottie shortly after her feet trim, where Jules mentioned the anxiety they faced waiting for her to wake up. Rob said, "We've had Lottie since she was a foal. We think an awful lot of her. I'd love to think her health will improve, and we can trim her conventionally, but we'll do whatever it takes to keep her healthy."